or to be planning my social media or to be drafting up a new marketing plan. The stuff that really takes my brain needs to be done in my green zone.
Welcome to The Edit. If you're a photographer looking to elevate your business, you're in the right place.
We're three seasoned pros who have managed profitable businesses over the past 2 decades. Together, we've curated strategies for what works and what doesn't, and we're here to share that knowledge with you.
Whether you're just starting out or have been around a while, join us to build sustainable, profitable, and fulfilling businesses together.
Hey, ladies. Hi. I feel like I should ask you, how you're doing or what you've been up to, but we've been talking on Marco Polo all week. So I'm going to ask you, what was the last thing that you took a photo of?
Yes. So this morning, as we were chatting on Marco Polo, I saw this fun little fence with these flowers on it. And I love doing that. When I walk through my neighborhood, I love having my phone on me. And if I see something cool, I'll just whip it out and take a photo just for myself. Sometimes I'll share it on Instagram, but yes.
I love that. I actually wish I took photos for myself more often. I feel like that's probably something a lot of photographers find is you do it for work so much that you forget to do it for yourself. So the last thing I took a photo of was for my client. I literally,
what kind of
2 days
session did
ago
you have?
was photographing for a family. A newborn session. So one of the families that my daughter used to go to school with, they just had their baby. And so I got to go to their home. And my daughter was really mad that I got to have a play date with her friend, but she wasn't invited.
Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't exactly a play date. Mama was working.
Yep.
How about you, Erin? What was the last thing you took a photo of?
So I had a session 2 days ago that was a high school senior girl. We went to a really awesome bookstore, and then someone that lives near her has a bunch of old school chairs and filing cabinets and desks for sale. And I've seen them a few times. They're just stacks and stacks. Those yellow, red, green, blue, little kids' chairs in elementary schools. And so they're just all stacked up, and I thought they'd make the coolest texture. And then she climbed up on top of the filing cabinets that were all stacked up and leaned against them and looked like the coolest kid ever.
That's
so that was my last with my camera. And then yesterday we went hiking at Burgess Falls here in Cookeville, Tennessee. And so I got some selfies with my 6-year-old.
Nice. I love when they actually participate and want to be in the photos.
Yeah. She's in a fun age. Yeah. So the topic for today is part of what allowed me to go hiking with my 6-year-old yesterday on a Monday and to be able to put my phone away. And today's episode is all about capturing time. So as seasoned photographers, the three of us are going to share 2 things each where we maximize our productivity and manage time. And then we will pack even more into the newsletter. So if you're listening and you have not signed up for our newsletter yet, we will not blame you. If you hit pause, we'll still be here. And go sign up. We'll put the link in the show notes. We will put it on in our Instagram bio, and we'll make sure that you can get signed up for that newsletter, because every time that we record an episode, we'll give you what we can to keep it quick, and then we'll put even more in the weekly newsletter that we send out. Miss Whitney, would you care to get us started and share one thing that you do to maximize your productivity?
Yes. And this is a perfect transition because you talked about time. And my very first thing is what's called a time timer.
I love that name, by the way. It's
time timer. It is awesome. I know this does not look very exciting, but it's very helpful. And I love this thing. I bought it about 8 years ago when I was actually diagnosed with ADHD, well into adulthood. And I saw an ADHD coach, and she said, I use this for a lot of my clients. Why don't you try it? And I love it. So if you struggle staying on task, or if you have ADHD, I think it's really awesome. The way I use it is I will set a timer for 20 minutes. And this is particularly for something that's really hard for me to concentrate on, like finances. I dread them. And so I set my timer and I say, okay, 20 minutes. That's all I have to do. And then I can focus for 20 minutes. The timer goes off and I take a break. The other tip for this is, let's say 20 minutes goes up and the timer goes off. I'm like, man, I am like into this. I can get it done. I still force myself to take a break, because what will happen is I'll go for so long and get exhausted. And then in an hour, I'm done. And then I'm exhausted for the rest of the day. And I'm like, no more finances for a month. It really helps me keep on tap.
That's a really good point, to, even if you want to keep going, to take that break, because you're right. I feel like it's so easy for all of us. You get like into your zone and you don't want to break it, but in the end, it just ends up burning you out anyway. So wow, I like that tip is amazing. I like that, because I'm totally guilty of it. I am sure so many people are. Like, you just are in work mode, but your body suffers, your mind suffers.
And I have a 6-year-old who was fairly recently was diagnosed with ADHD as well. So when we were talking about this episode of the show and Whitney mentioned this timer, I jumped on Amazon, got it. It showed up the next day. So we had it on Friday, I believe, and we used it a little bit on Friday, a little bit on Saturday. My 6-year-old loves it because she doesn't really know how to tell time yet. And she really doesn't have the grasp of what 10 minutes feels like or what an hour feels like. And so we've used it. We were waiting for house guests, and I knew that they were about an hour out. So I was able to show her how much time she had to wait, and she could see that it was moving slower. And then we've used it for tasks where I needed her to take a break from her tablet and do some worksheets. And I said, I need you to do a worksheet until this timer goes off. And it made it easier for her to do it, because in her little brain, it wasn't I have to do this worksheet forever. I'm never going to get my tablet again. And so she knew that we were taking a break for a moment on a Saturday to do something, and that she was going to get to have it. It's going. So I'll probably steal it while she's at school and use it. But yeah. So, I agree. And I got a cute one that matches my kitchen, like a little bit. And yeah.
I love
so thank
it.
you, Whitney.
Yeah.
Yep.
And 8 years ago, they did not have the cute ones. So mine is just the traditional.
Yeah. It's cute.
And now I'm like, oh, a cute one would be really fun. But I love that. I have not thought about the waiting for something to happen. Haven't used it with my son, but he's like that too, where he doesn't, how long is it going to be? How long is it going to be? Yeah. And you could even use it in a car when you're driving somewhere.
I think the possibility. Yeah. To bring it back to time management, productivity within your business, I feel like it just the activities that are harder, like her worksheet, it's not what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But she could see that it was just this amount of time. Like, I could push through.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yes. And I wish I had this when I was neck deep in my business all the time. And if I had started my business and I had this, I think things would have been so much easier for me, especially when it comes to QuickBooks and money and all of that.
So all the stuff that you don't like.
All the stuff I hate. Like, I legitimately hate. So, an important part of business.
Which kind of actually say that segues exactly into what we're talking about, stuff that you hate. And so there we go. That's my first productivity tip is I hate retouching. I feel like so many photographers really love that, and they've made it such a part of their business. But I don't like it. I photograph mostly families with small kids, and I don't want to have to sit there and zoom into 100 or 200% and Photoshop out all of the baby acne or the like Cheetos that are stuck in between the teeth and up the nose. Like, it's not. Yes. Oh my gosh. That snot is real. So my productivity tip is definitely something that if I started over with my business, this is what I would do from the get-go is I would find a retouching company that I love and send my images there, because I spent so much time when I was first starting out thinking I would save money by doing it myself, but really time is money. And I was spending so much time and it was not productive. So a few years ago, I went on a hunt to go find a retouching company that I loved, and I found Retouch Up. They were by far the best that I felt with everything that I gave them. I tried a couple of different companies, and it was hit or miss with what I would get back from them as far as retouching goes. And Retouch Up has been the one I've found that really does the most for me. You can select your favorite artists as well. So I would basically submit an order and just have it go to whoever. And then as I was getting things back, you can get a little heart button next to the person who it tells you who did your retouching, and you can heart them. And so I just started hearting all of my favorite retouching picture, like the pictures when they came back. So I have a group of 5 retouchers that those are always the ones I use. I love them. They do such a great job. They follow the instructions that I give. Also, since I've been with them for about 5 years, I feel like they know the retouching style. And so the notes that I put in there, they're like, yep, we got it. We've been there, done that for you last week. We're good. It's also really cool. They have like a earning, like a cashback like thing. I call it cashback, but it's not really that. It's like a rewards program where you earn points for every order you submit based on the dollar amount. And you also give feedback to your retouchers so they know how they were on your order. And you get points for doing that too. And you can use those points to either take money off of your like next retouching order, or what I really love to do, because I feel like I've done all of my costs of doing business. I've got the cost of retouching put into my pricing. So what I do with that extra money is you can give your retouchers tips. You can also save up enough points to give their family a family movie night out. You can also do, what's the other one? You could do a family movie night. Oh, you can do dinner. You can do dinner for them as well. So it's really cool that they customize what you give to your retouchers. So I like to use it for that as like a feel good, thanking them for all the awesome work that they do. And
super fun.
So awesome. I love it. That's my big one.
Yeah. The most recent thing I sent to them was braces removal. I don't even want to attempt braces removal on my own, but I didn't know. I've used them recently, but I just didn't know how much you could fine tune it. And then all of the cute little perks. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Yeah. The only thing I'm like searching for, they don't do it, is I need to find somebody that culls. That's my other That's my other thing that takes up so much time that I hate to do. I overshoot. I am an overshooter. I take way too many. So that's the only thing. So Retouch Up, if you are watching this, add a culling service on. I will pay for it. But okay, so Whitney and I have shared. So Erin, what's your productivity tip, your first one?
My first one, this can apply to photographers or anyone. I use this for so many things. And it's not a product, it is just a practice. I, in the newsletter, will explain a little bit more about like where this all came from, but the idea is time zoning. So you have your green zone, your yellow zone, and your red zone. All of the things that need your brain the most need to be done in your green zone. Things that don't need your brain need to be done in the red zone, and everything else can just happen in the yellow zone. So for me, I know that my brain is ready to go about half an hour after I wake up, and I'm good for about 4 hours. And then things start to get slow and sluggish. And I am not a night person. I like 9 o'clock at night, put me in the bed. I don't go to bed then, I should, but I have a very close friend who's also a photographer where her brain works at 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 a.m. And so for her green zone is late at night when everybody else is asleep and no one can bother her. So you have to decide when your zones are. You might have a yellow zone in the morning. You might be slow to start, and your green zone might be middle of the day. So everybody can be different. But once you decide where your zone is, that's where you plan in all of your tasks for the day.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I love this so much because I know not to be unloading the dishwasher an hour after I wake up. Like I need to be using my brain at that point to respond to the client email that takes a little bit more brain power, or to be planning my social media, or to be drafting up a new marketing plan. The stuff that really takes my brain needs to be done in my green zone. Some of the more simple thing, editing for me is a yellow zone. I don't need to think really hard. And So I don't need the brain power. I just need to be able to focus. So that's a yellow zone. And then so I try to save like cleaning out my camera bag. That's a red zone type thing. Like that's the kind of thing. So
we done.
That has helped me. Yeah, that practice has helped me so much in getting the things done that I need to get done just by putting them in the right pocket of the day so that I can be the most productive. And so I use it a little bit for work and a lot for work and a little bit personally. And yeah, that's my favorite one.
Love it. I've never heard of that before.
Loved it. I love it. I like.
Oh, good. I'm glad
about that now. Yes, and because I feel like I could really use that because I can be so scattered where I'm like, even this morning I was downstairs working on something and I was like, oh, I need to clean up a little bit. And then I start cleaning up and then I'm like, no. Yeah. Thinking right now is the time to actually be doing something more, using more of my brain. And so I think and I guess, so when you plan, do you start off like each day before like putting everything into your zones?
I either do it the night before
the next day,
or I do it first thing in the morning while I'm sipping my coffee and the kids are asleep. Like a lot of times that's when I plan out my day. And so I'll map everything out. I'm still an old school paper planner person. My day designer has half-hour blocks and then on the left and a to-do list on the right. And so I just do a brain dump with my to-do list and then I'll plug it in to where it goes in the schedule part. And so I do that in the morning and then that way I know what to focus on. The trickiest part, if you are a mom with children at home or just someone that you don't get to dictate your schedule, my daughter's nap happens during my yellow zone. So I wish that I was uninterrupted during that green zone in the morning. I'm not, but in a perfect world or when she goes to school, I'm going to conquer the world in that green zone.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of parents
excited that
probably
you guys have not heard
that.
about this. Yeah. Now
like
I
not
want
at
you
all.
guys to think about what your zones are and get back to me. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Fun.
Well, finances.
Yeah. Keep it rolling. Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah. Do it during the green zone.
And so this just made me realize I'm excited to read the newsletter when it comes out because I want more details. Yeah. And I know we don't have time.
Excellent. No, I know.
Speaking of time, we're to sign up for our newsletter.
I know. Let's keep it rolling. Whitney, what is your second?
We'll keep going. My second, and so I'm similar to you in that I like paper planners. I like being able to write things down because if I'm doing something on my computer, if I'm planning on my computer, I get too distracted. That again, and as you all who are watching or listening get to know me, a lot of my decisions do have to do with ADHD because this is just how I get stuff to work for myself. And so I love paper planners. However, I either never finish them, I lose them, or I'll mess up something and I want it to be perfect. And then I just stop using it because it's not going to be. So my solution to that is what is called GoodNotes. And it is an app for my iPad. They do have the app for Android and you can use it on your computer or on your iPhone. But from what I have read, it works a lot better on the iPad with an Apple Pencil. And what GoodNotes is, it's basically this app that holds all of the notebooks you could ever want.
Oh, wow.
So it will, and you can create your own notebooks. You can decorate them. You can buy planners for them off Etsy. They have planners. All of this you can get for free. You could also pay $5 on Etsy to get stuff. You can add stickers, make it as cute as you want. I like the idea of that. I just never do it. And I use it for everything. I have a recipe book where I keep all my recipes. You can upload PDFs into there too. So for example, let's say I'm going to a conference. If you are going to a photography conference, you can take all your notes there. Or let's say you're doing a Zoom class and the person sends you a PDF, you can upload that PDF and then take your notes directly on there.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So it is so much fun. And then I have my planner in there. So each day I have a planner that I use. And in the newsletter, I'm going to link the exact one that I have. I actually have one for my business, and then I have a personal one too. So I just duplicate it. So you buy it once and you can have like as many versions as you want. It's all in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about losing it. And so one of the biggest things for me is, so not only am I not always looking for my planner or losing something or spending more money, I can actually go in and it will read your handwriting.
Oh,
so
whoa.
Yeah. So you can search. So I'm like, I might be thinking, oh, I had that conversation with Denise 2 months ago, or I met that client and I remember they were telling me something and I wrote it down, but where did I put it? I can just type in her name and then I can go find the notes that I took.
Oh my gosh, that's so
On
cool.
her, I need that.
Technology is amazing.
Yeah. You just sold me on good notes and buying an iPad. Like, I need it all right now. I need it all.
It is. Yeah. Oh, and the Apple Pencil, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can go on and on about it. But
to be able to search for anything, I have so many notebooks, or I'll have clients that, yeah, like I'll take notes during my order appointments with clients. So I have a notebook that's just order appointments. I have a notebook that's like my daily. I have so many notebooks, but to be able to be like, okay, you were here 3 years ago with this daughter. Here's what you bought. Here's what it looked like. Oh, like to be able to just type that in real quick, type their kid's name in, and have all of that at my fingertips during an order appointment. Surely that would help my sale.
Gosh,
if they were like, what size canvas did I buy? I'm like, let me look. That would be great.
Here we go.
Yeah, you might have
love
just
that.
changed my life. Okay, excellent.
I love it so much. Yeah, that search function is amazing. What I'm thinking about, and I love that you said that it's for Android too, because for all you out there that are watching and listening, I'm like the only photographer in the world that's like on Android, Microsoft. I've got an HP laptop. So yeah, it's good to know that it's good for the couple of people that are like me that are on the Android side.
We let you in the group for diversity, Amanda.
I know, right? Exactly. I know.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
That's what it is. The amount of it's so funny because I feel like the amount of people that are like, wait, is that an HP? I'm like, yes, I know. I'm like the only photographer that doesn't have any sort of Mac or like Apple product, but it gives me kudos here. I live in Seattle. So I actually have a lot of my clients that are Microsofties or other tech people. So they're like, oh, hey. So it's like, it works for me. Right, exactly. I found them.
There you go.
Cracks me up.
Well, okay. So Amanda, what is your second?
Yeah. So my other one is like real quick and easy, and I'm sure so many people use it too, but it's Canva. Like talking about time and the stuff that like sucks it out of you. I actually really love doing social media posts, but they take forever. And so with Canva, I love that I can create some templates and throw photos in there for whatever new thing I have. And if I want to go fancy, I can dive in and get some other templates or search to see what's trending and grab one of those. But otherwise, especially for Reels, I just have a couple of templates saved and I just pop my new photos in there when I'm ready to create a new one. And so creating a social media post now only takes a couple of minutes versus it was taking me literally like an hour to create something because I'd have to start from scratch and I'd have to figure out what format I want to put it in and what size is going to fit here. So it has just changed how I do social media, specifically for Instagram. I love it so much. You can create things for your stories. And I am one of those people too that loves to work on my desktop. That's where like I've got the really fancy monitor. All my color correction looks amazing there. So I create everything there on my desktop. And then as I am going about my day, if I haven't already scheduled things, I can pop onto the app for Canva on my phone and download and just upload it right there.
Timer.
I guess I can.
With a timer.
That's your timer. Your timer's like, okay, we're done with the podcast now, go. But yeah, so Canva's like my thing. I love Canva, create the templates, make it easy. I don't even have the pro version. I literally have the free one. And so it's super accessible, super easy. Highly recommend for anybody that really wants to stay consistent too. Is so many other marketing and brand professionals that I follow talk about how not only is it important to show up and be consistent, but to be intentional with your branding and with your colors so that people recognize you from what you're posting. So having the template already set and good to go means I don't have to think about it. I drag and drop my photos in and then I'm all set.
I love it. Like
Yeah,
I use
good
Canva
stuff.
too. And it is the best.
I have the Pro version. I can't remember what it was that made me feel the need to upgrade to Pro. I use it on the daily.
Yeah. You can do some cool things with the Pro version. And they actually you can save your branding specifically like in a thing there. But it just happens to be, I put it into a template and that's just the same template I use. But if you don't want to have the same template you're using, it'll let you use your own brand on everything. So there's definitely perk to the Pro. I haven't needed to do it. And so I haven't done that yet. But give me some time. I'm sure I'll upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, Erin, what's your last? Since our timer went off for Whitney telling us we need to be done.
Are you guys going to play me out with music? So this one is, this one's a software that's a project or a client management system. So people call them different things, but basically something that you can use that will have workflows. So I use Dubsado. I have used 17 Hats in the past. I know that there is Honeybook. There's probably so many. Dubsado, I jumped on that boat, quite honestly, because I had a friend who her job at the time was to set up Dubsado for other photographers. They would just pay her to go in and do it. And so she set me up with workflows to where as soon as someone sends an inquiry to my website, it sends them back the response that I want. And then depending on what they respond back to, it will start a system to get them booked. If they don't respond back in 3 days, it will check back in with them. I use Dubsado. Yeah. I use Dubsado for emails, for scheduling so that they can choose a date in the calendar, for invoices. It will invoice them. And the way that I do my sessions, I'm doing invoices throughout the process. So you pay to book and then you pay a deposit towards your order. And then after your order appointment, you'll pay again because I like to spread it all out. What I was finding is I would be doing great in the slower seasons at making sure I stayed up on top of everything. And then during busy season, I would forget to send someone that order deposit invoice, or I send session prep emails, and I would have clients have to touch base with me and say, what do I need to know for my session in a week and a half? Now I know that every client is getting consistency from me because they're getting all the emails that they need. So I can plug in, this person's session is on X date at X time at this location. This is who's doing their makeup. This is the location for that. Once I plug in all of that information, it puts it in the email for me. So it helps me to be able to look at it, but it also will plug it back in for them. Just all the things. It just makes me look so much more on top of things than I really am. Make sure that every client gets the same experience and that I'm not forgetting to send an email. And then 2 days ago, I was on a photo shoot and I got a notification. I was looking at it on my watch. And while I was on a photo shoot with a senior girl, there was a senior boy who his mom had received an invoice and paid it while I was on a photo shoot with another client. And that was that moment where I was like, this is worth every penny. Yeah. So I don't have a comparison chart. I am not endorsed by Dubsado or anything like that. I'm sure that they are all so great. It's a matter of how well you utilize it. And if that intimidates you, then you should Google someone who will set it up for you. So it took some emails back and forth, but they knew exactly how to do it. They were so much quicker at it than me. It's a well-oiled machine now. So using some sort of software to manage your business, even if you're busy or your kid is sick or you're on a big shoot or something like that. So that's my last one.
That's awesome. I'm thinking specifically as far as keeping that client communication consistent, because I find that's what annoys me the most when I am paying for services from somebody is if I'm not getting the communication and I'm the one who has to keep reaching out. It drives me nuts. I'm like, I am paying for this service. Why am I the one trying to contact you? So that's amazing that then it basically cuts that worry out for your client is, oh, I know I'm going to get that email. I know I'm going to get what I need from Erin. Like she's always on top of sending things. And how nice for you to have the peace of mind that, oh, I don't have to mark in my calendar. I need to send them an update. Like it's all set and ready to go. That's awesome.
And there are some things that you can mark it to where you have to hit the approve button before it sends the email out, just in case there's like variables. Another thing too, it will show you when your clients have read an email. So if
awesome.
If I sent an email in 3 days, my client has not looked at it, it probably got sent to their spam mail, their spam box, or I need to check in with them for some reason. And then, and then also we've been talking a little bit in Marco Polo about doing an episode on managing client expectations. It's so easy to do that when I've got all these automated emails that I know they're getting everything that they need to get. And so just so many reasons. I'm a big fan of a software that helps you manage your projects.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm
kidding.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love that it shows that you can see if they've read it. So there's none of this.
Did they? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you get it.
And so many photographers are just like more creative than they are organized. This makes me look more professional than I ever would look without it. So that's a bonus.
Amazing.
Okay, Miss Whitney, what is your...
I think if we've all sold each other on everything.
No, this is why we're doing this whole thing.
Okay.
I've shared my second.
I was going to say, I think we've covered everything.
Oh,
We just each covered our own. Yeah.
I can't believe we did. I was like craving more. I'm like, you guys teach me all of the things.
I know. I know, right?
Oh, I love it.
Funny.
So
okay, I'm just going to mention this really quick. I love that like none of us mentioned Marco Polo, even though all week we've been like doing that to save time on like texting. We've been using it as we've been driving. And so we've been like on our walks. There you go. There's our other one. Throw that one out there too. Marco Polo. Like,
and we'll throw a bunch of them in the newsletter. So if you're listening, subscribe to the newsletter. We're going to put more in there and just really share with you what we've learned. Our goal for this whole show is to help you work smarter. We've done all of the hard work in the last 2 decades. We've been in the thick of it where you might be right now. And we just want to make things easier for those of you who are listening. So please sign up for that newsletter. Please subscribe. Just please come back. Give us some love on Instagram. Ladies, can you help me tell them where to find us?
Yes. We just acquired our Instagram handle. Yay! The Edit Weekly. So you can go find us over there now. And then we're theeditweekly.com, I believe, as well, right?
We are.
I think we messed up the last time by saying the wrong URL, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're at now, where we live.
Ladies, thank you so much for all of the stuff that you just shared. This was awesome. And until I see you next week, bye.
Bye.